G'day, it's Woody, and if you follow the channel for any length of time, you'll know that I fit a lot of scopes to my rifles. And I've been kind of hodgepodging a kit together to allow me to do that. Well, today I'm going to review the Fix-It Sticks Rifle and Optics Kit. What I'm hoping that this kit will do for me is not only increase my capabilities, allow me to mount optics and accessories very accurately and control the torque on all of the fixings and screws that are involved in that, but also that it will come in a much more compact and user-friendly kit. So let's get this unboxed, see what's included, and then probably no better way to do a review of a kit like this but to fit a rifle scope to my Wedgetail Industries MPR 308. Now let's have a look at the packaging. Super clean, very tidy. It is very clear what's included in the kit. So you're getting the T-handle, which is the wrench of the whole mechanism. You get a torque driver. Note there's only one torque driver in here, and we'll get to that in a minute. There is a plethora of standard hex bits, which is imperial, and hex picks and metric, screwdriver bits, both Phillips and flathead, and a range of Torx bits. And of course the 1/2-inch socket, which is extremely common for cross bolts on scope rings and that sort of thing. So straight away I've noticed there's a lot of options. So there's a lot of bits included in this kit. They've been able to include a lot more bits, I reckon, because there's only one torque driver, because this is a variable torque driver. So rather than my previous kit where I had 3 different torque drivers and they were fixed at different torque settings, and it was just a standard one that you turn until it clicks. Well, this one's quite different, so let's find out what's involved. Let's get this open and see what's inside. This thing is strikingly compact. Look at that compared to the palm of my hand. Not only is this probably tripling the capability from my last kit, but it's about half the size physically. It's all really well laid out in a plastic tray that retains all of the components there. I'm using the worn X-Scale QD mount, which means I won't get to use the 1/2-inch driver because it's a QD mount, so it doesn't have the big cross bolts that need to be torquing up. The reason I like these is because I change optics quite often actually, but also I do like to run thermals and that sort of thing, and I do have a main thermal scope on a QD mount as well, and I've got that zeroed to several guns, including this one. So let's get this seated. So the next step is to remove the top rings so we can fit the scope in. One thing it says never to do is to use the Torx driver to undo. It's only for tightening, it's never for untightening. The T-handle has magnetic ports on the socket, so it retains that Torx bit really, really well. So now, with the top rings removed, I'm just going to compare level on a few things. So level on the pick rail, on the receiver, level on the mount, and level on the top there. So that's all leveled off. So what I'm going to do is drop this on and level it based on that. So with that leveled, I'll replace these rings, and I will tighten these just until I feel the cap is fully closed, if you will, on the scope, but not tightening, so it's barely finger tight at this stage. Now this is the special part, the variable Torx driver. You can see, I hope this is coming up well on camera, but you can see all the individual lines on the outer casing, and then you can see the main line on the inner casing. And now what you do is you turn this until your inner line lines up with the lines on the outer casing to the torque that you desire. So I've looked at my manufacturer specs, in this case the worn X-Scale QD. It says to torque the top rings up to 25 inch-pounds. So I'm going to turn this until that line lines up with that line. Now you got to remember to stop at that point, because there's no click or snap like you would expect from a traditional torque driver. So as simple as putting my Torx bit in there and then putting this into my T-handle. And then we tighten up in a crisscross pattern. Something else I'd like to do is move this ember sight a little bit more forward. With my previous optic setup, I had to move it a bit far back. With a QD mount setup, I do love to have the ember sights fitted. That way, if I do have to scope off, I still have an aiming solution ready to go. So it is a 1/8 hex heads that goes in there. And of course, this kit comes with one. So using my same T-handle wrench, I can grab the 1/8 bit and loosen that off. Remembering not to use the Torx driver to undo any screws. Move this forward to my desired position. There we go. And tighten up as easy as that. Well, that scope is now securely mounted to my rifle, and I can honestly say that was a very pleasurable experience. I went into this review video with quite high hopes, as I mentioned at the start of this video. I like that I've gained even more capability with this kit, and yet it's in an even more compact form. I will put this in my range box, I'll put this in my backpack, and I'll be using it here in the Woody Armory when I'm mounting scopes. I think this is going to make my life a lot better. The variable Torx driver is awesome to use. It's a little bit weird at first. I've never used one before, but watching the outer casing and the inner casing turn at different rates, and then watching that line up at the correct torque setting is awesome. I really have a lot of confidence that that is mounted really solidly, and I liked it. This kit was really easy to use. Fix-It sticks have heaps of tools available, and I'm hoping to expand on that as the future goes. You know, they have levels, other mounting kits, service kits, that sort of thing for pistols, rifles, and all of that. Thanks for watching this video. If you like seeing some more tool type reviews and more equipment rather than just gun reviews, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching.